You know what's strange? The mind never really switches off. Even when everything around you is quiet, inside it's like a storm that just keeps going.
Yeah. And the weird part is, most of the time, nothing is actually happening in real life. It's all just happening in your head.
Exactly. Like you're sitting peacefully, maybe even having a good day, and suddenly your brain goes, "Hey, remember that one awkward thing you said 3 years ago?"
No, not that. Why does it always pick the worst possible moment?
I don't know. But when it happens, it feels so real, doesn't it? Like you're right back in that moment.
Yeah, your heart starts racing, your stomach drops, and you start questioning everything. Why did I say that? What were they thinking? Did I mess everything up?
And the more you think about it, the worse it gets.
That's the trap. You think you're solving something, but you're actually just making it heavier.
I used to believe overthinking meant I cared more. Like if I analyzed everything, I'd avoid mistakes.
Same here. I thought it made me responsible, thoughtful, like I was being careful with my decisions.
But then I realized I wasn't being careful, I was being stuck.
That's such a powerful way to put it.
Because think about it. How many times have you overthought something so much that you didn't even take action?
Too many. Honestly, I can remember a specific moment. I had this opportunity, something I really wanted. And instead of just going for it, I kept thinking, what if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if people judge me?
That what if loop.
Yeah, and it didn't stop. Every time I got close to deciding, another doubt showed up. Eventually, I just didn't do it.
That must have hurt.
It did. Not because I failed, but because I never even tried. And deep down, I knew it wasn't fear alone. It was overthinking that held me back.
I relate to that so much. For me, it wasn't big opportunities, it was small, everyday things like texting someone back.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'd type a message, delete it, rewrite it over and over, thinking, is this too much? Too little? Do I sound weird? It would take me 10 minutes to send one simple text.
That's exhausting.
It is. And the funny thing is, the other person probably didn't think twice about it.
That's the irony, right? We build these huge scenarios in our minds, but in reality, most people aren't analyzing us the way we analyze ourselves.
Exactly. But when you're in that loop, it feels so real. Like everything depends on getting it perfect.
Perfection, yeah, that's a big part of it.
Overthinking and perfectionism go hand in hand. You're constantly trying to avoid mistakes, avoid judgment, avoid discomfort.
But in doing that, you end up creating more discomfort.
So much more. I remember nights where I couldn't sleep because my brain just wouldn't stop. It would jump from one thought to another, past mistakes, future worries, even things that didn't make sense.
Same. It's like your mind becomes this never ending conversation you didn't agree to have.
And you can't just turn it off.
That's what people don't understand. They say things like, just stop thinking about it. But it's not that simple.
Not at all. If anything, telling yourself to stop thinking makes you think even more.
Exactly. It's like telling yourself, don't think about a pink elephant.
And suddenly, that's all you can think about.
Exactly.
So then the question becomes, if we can't just stop thinking, what do we do?
That's where things started changing for me. I stopped trying to control every thought.
What do you mean?
Instead of fighting my thoughts, I started noticing them, like stepping back and saying, okay, that's a thought, not a fact, not something I need to solve right now.
That sounds simple, but I feel like it takes practice.
It does. At first, I kept getting pulled back in. My brain would say, no, this is important. You need to figure this out.
Yeah, that urgency.
Exactly. But over time, I realized most thoughts aren't urgent. They just feel urgent,
That's a key difference.
right? Just because a thought shows up doesn't mean it deserves your attention.
I love that because we treat every thought like it's important, like it's knocking on the door and we have to answer immediately.
But what if we didn't?
Then maybe we'd have a little more peace.
Exactly. I had a similar shift, actually. I started asking myself one simple question. Is this thought helping me right now?
That's a good one.
And most of the time, the answer was no. It wasn't helping. It wasn't solving anything. It was just making me anxious.
So what did you do when the answer was no?
I tried to let it go, not force it away, but just not follow it.
That's such an important distinction.
Yeah, because forcing it away doesn't work. It just comes back stronger.
But not engaging with it, that changes things.
Exactly. It's like imagine your thoughts are trains passing by. Overthinking is when you jump onto every train and ride it to the end.
And suddenly you're miles away from where you started.
Yeah, but you don't have to get on every train. You can just watch them pass.
That's such a powerful image.
It helped me a lot because it gave me permission to not react to everything in my mind
I think that's what people need to hear. You don't have to believe every thought you have,
or solve it.
or even understand it completely.
Sometimes a thought is just a thought.
And it can pass if you let it.
I wish I had learned that earlier.
Me too. It would have saved so much energy.
So much stress.
But maybe that's part of the journey, right? Learning how your mind works.
Yeah, and realizing that your mind isn't your enemy.
It's just trying to protect you.
Exactly. It's trying to prepare you, keep you safe, avoid pain.
But it doesn't always know when to stop,
And that's where we come in.
to gently guide it.
Not control it, but guide it
With patience.
with kindness.
Especially kindness. Because a lot of us are really hard on ourselves for overthinking.
Yeah, we say things like, why am I like this? Or what's wrong with me?
But nothing is wrong with you.
You're human.
And your brain is doing what it's been trained to do.
The good news is it can learn something new.
Slowly, but surely.
And it starts with awareness,
Just noticing when you're overthinking.
catching that moment when your mind starts spiraling,
And instead of going deeper, taking a step back.
even if it's just for a second.
That second matters
It really does.
because it creates space
And in that space, you get a choice
to keep overthinking.
to let it go.
And maybe letting go doesn't feel natural at first.
That's okay.
It's something you practice.
Like any skill.
And the more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Not perfect, but easier.
And that's enough.
More than enough.
So if you're listening right now and your mind feels loud
Or restless.
or just tired from thinking too much,
Take a moment.
just breathe.
You don't have to figure everything out right now.
You really don't.
Whatever you're overthinking,
It can wait,
and you deserve a little peace.
even if it's just for a moment.
Especially then,
Because sometimes
the most powerful thing you can do,
is nothing at all.
just be
Right here.
right now.
And let your mind rest. You know, something I've been thinking about lately is how overthinking doesn't just make you tired, it slowly starts changing how you see yourself.
That's true. It's not just about the thoughts themselves, it's what those thoughts turn into over time.
Exactly. Like when you question yourself again and again, you start believing you can't trust your own decisions.
Yeah, you hesitate more, even with simple things.
What to say, what to do, what choice to make, everything feels like it needs deep analysis.
And the pressure of getting it right becomes so heavy.
I remember a phase where I couldn't make even small decisions without overthinking, like choosing what to wear to an event.
Really?
Yeah, I'd stand there thinking, what if this doesn't look right? What if people judge me? What if I feel out of place? It sounds small, but in that moment, it felt huge.
That's the thing. Overthinking magnifies everything.
It does, and it makes you feel like every choice has massive consequences.
When in reality, most choices are just choices.
Exactly, not life-defining moments.
I went through something similar with speaking up. In meetings, conversations, even with friends sometimes.
What would happen?
I'd have something to say, but before I could speak, my brain would run through all the possibilities. What if this sounds stupid? What if they disagree? What if I said the wrong way?
And by the time you finish thinking,
The moment was gone.
that must have been frustrating.
It was, because later I'd replay it in my head, thinking about what I should have said.
That loop again.
Yeah, overthinking before and overthinking after.
That's exhausting.
It really is. And it creates this constant feeling of being stuck, like you're always either preparing or regretting.
Never just experiencing.
Exactly.
I think that's one of the biggest costs of overthinking. It pulls you out of the present moment.
Yeah, you're either in the past, replaying things,
Or in the future, worrying about things.
but rarely in the now.
And the present is the only place where life is actually happening.
That's such a simple truth, but so easy to forget,
It is because the mind loves to wander.
especially when it feels uncertain.
That's another thing. Uncertainty. Overthinking thrives on it,
Definitely. When you don't have clear answers, your brain tries to create them,
even if those answers are negative,
especially if they're negative,
because your brain is wired to look for problems.
to protect you.
Exactly. It's trying to prepare you for the worst so you're not caught off guard.
But in doing that, it often creates problems that don't even exist.
Yes. And then you start reacting to those imagined problems as if they're real.
I remember stressing for days about a conversation I thought I needed to have.
What kind of conversation?
I thought someone was upset with me. They seemed a bit distant, and my mind immediately went into overdrive.
What were you thinking?
Everything. Did I offend them? Did I do something wrong? Are they avoiding me? I built this whole story in my head.
Did you talk to them?
Eventually, yes. And you know what they said?
What?
They were just busy. That's it.
Wow.
All that stress, all that overthinking for something that wasn't even real.
That happens so often.
It does. But when you're inside that loop, it feels completely real.
Because your emotions respond to your thoughts, not necessarily to reality.
That's such an important point.
Right? If you think something is wrong, your body reacts as if it is wrong.
Even if there's no actual evidence.
Exactly. So then how do we break that cycle?
For me, it started with questioning my thoughts. Not in a harsh way, but in a curious way.
What kind of questions? Simple ones like, is this actually true? Or do I have proof for this thought?
That's good.
And sometimes the answer was no. I didn't have proof. I just had a feeling.
And feelings can be misleading.
They can. They're valid, but they're not always accurate.
That's a powerful distinction.
It really changed things for me. Instead of immediately believing every thought, I started creating a little space.
Space between the thought and your reaction.
Exactly.
I think that space is where freedom begins.
I love that.
Because without that space, everything feels automatic. Thought comes in and you just follow it.
Like you don't have a choice.
But you do,
You always do.
even if it's just choosing not to engage.
That choice matters so much.
It really does.
Another thing that helped me was realizing that not every problem needs to be solved immediately.
That's a big one.
Because overthinking creates this urgency. Like, figure this out now or something bad will happen.
Yeah, that pressure.
But in most of the time, nothing bad happens if you wait.
In fact, sometimes clarity comes when you stop forcing it.
Exactly. I've had moments where I was stuck on something for hours, and then I let it go, went for a walk, and suddenly the answer felt obvious.
That's happened to me too.
It's like your mind needs space to process.
Not constant pressure.
Right.
I started doing something similar. Whenever I caught myself overthinking, I'd step away, physically if I could.
Like going outside?
Yeah, or even just changing rooms, putting my phone away, anything to break the pattern.
That's so effective.
It is, because overthinking often happens in the same environment, same place, same posture, same mental loop.
So changing something external helps shift something internal.
Exactly.
I think people underestimate how powerful small changes can be.
They really do. It doesn't have to be something big.
Just a small interruption in the pattern.
And suddenly, you're not as stuck as you thought.
That's such a comforting realization.
It is. Because when you're overthinking, it feels like you're trapped.
Like there's no way out.
But there is.
There always is.
Sometimes it's just not where you're looking.
Yeah, we often look for solutions inside the overthinking when the solution is actually stepping outside of it.
That's beautifully said.
It's something I had to learn the hard way.
Same here.
But I think that's what makes it meaningful. When you go through it, you understand it on a deeper level.
And you can help others see it too.
Exactly. So if someone is listening right now and they feel stuck in their thoughts,
Like they can't stop analyzing everything.
or questioning themselves,
Or replaying moments over and over.
just know this.
You don't have to solve everything tonight.
You don't have to have all the answers.
It's okay to pause.
It's okay to step back.
And it's okay to not know.
Because not knowing doesn't mean something is wrong.
It just means you're human
And learning?
and growing.
and figuring things out, one step at a time.
Not all at once.
Never all at once.
So maybe instead of trying to control every thought,
You just let a few of them pass
without holding on to them,
without turning them into something bigger.
just let them be and let them go.
And in that space,
You might find something you've been missing.
a little bit of calm
A little bit of clarity.
and a reminder.
That your mind doesn't have to be so heavy all the time.
It can feel lighter.
One thought at a time.
You know, there's something we haven't talked about yet, but I think it's at the core of overthinking.
What's that?
Fear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, if you really sit with it, most overthinking comes from some kind of fear. Fear of making the wrong choice, fear of being judged, fear of losing something, fear of not being enough.
That's true. It's rarely just thinking. There's always something underneath it.
Exactly. The thoughts are just the surface. The real weight comes from what's driving them.
I remember when I first realized that. I was overthinking this decision for days, going back and forth, analyzing every possible outcome.
What kind of decision?
Whether to leave a job I wasn't happy in.
That's a big one.
It was. And I kept telling myself, I just need to think this through more. But no matter how much I thought about it, I didn't feel any clearer.
So what changed?
One day, I asked myself, what am I actually afraid of here? And the answer hit me immediately.
What was it?
Failing. Starting over. Being judged by people for leaving something stable.
That's honest.
It was uncomfortable to admit, but also kind of freeing. Because I realized I wasn't stuck because I didn't have enough information. I was stuck because I was scared.
That's such a powerful realization.
Yeah, because once I saw the fear clearly, the overthinking started to lose its grip.
I've had a similar moment. For me, it was in relationships.
How so?
I would overanalyze everything. Messages, tone, timing, even small changes in behavior.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. And I kept thinking, why am I like this? Why can't I just relax? But when I really looked at it,
There was fear underneath it?
yeah, fear of being hurt, fear of being misunderstood, fear of losing someone.
That's deep.
It is. And once I acknowledged that, I stopped blaming myself for overthinking. Instead, I started understanding it.
That shift from judgment to understanding, it changes everything.
It really does. Because when you judge yourself, you add more pressure.
But when you understand yourself,
You create space.
and that space makes it easier to breathe.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people try to fix overthinking without addressing what's causing it.
Yes, they focus on the thoughts, but not the emotions behind them.
And the thoughts just keep coming back.
Because the root is still there.
So maybe the question isn't always, how do I stop thinking this?
But why am I thinking this?
That's powerful.
And not in a harsh, interrogating way, more like curiosity.
Gentle curiosity,
Exactly. Like you're trying to understand a friend.
not criticizing.
Right. I like that approach because overthinking often comes with a lot of self-criticism.
So much. You start saying things like, I shouldn't feel this way, or I'm overreacting, or I need to get over this.
And that just makes it worse
It does, because now you're fighting yourself.
instead of supporting yourself.
Yes, I remember a time when I was constantly overthinking about the future. Brad B, what I'd achieve, whether I was on the right path.
That's something so many people relate to.
It felt like I was always behind, like I needed to figure everything out immediately.
That pressure.
It was intense, and the more I thought about it, the more anxious I became.
Did you find a way out of that loop?
Slowly, I started reminding myself that it's okay not to have everything figured out.
That's a simple sentence, but so hard to accept.
It is, especially when you see others who seem like they have it all together.
Social comparison makes overthinking worse.
Definitely. You start questioning your choices, your progress, your worth.
And you forget that everyone's journey is different.
Exactly.
I had to learn that the hard way, too. I used to compare myself constantly. Career, life, relationships, everything.
What did that do to your mind?
It made it noisy. Always asking, am I doing enough? Am I falling behind? Should I be somewhere else by now?
That's a heavy place to be in.
It is. And it fuels overthinking because you're constantly trying to fix something that might not even be broken.
That's such an important point.
Yeah, sometimes we overthink not because something's wrong, but because we believe something should be different.
And that belief creates pressure.
Exactly.
I think one of the most freeing things I learned was this. Not every thought needs to lead to action.
That's powerful.
Because I used to think, if I'm thinking about it, I need to do something about it.
But that's not true.
Not at all. Some thoughts are just mental noise.
Passing through.
And if you don't attach to them, they fade.
That reminds me of something I started practicing, just sitting with my thoughts without reacting.
Like meditation?
Kind of, yeah, but very simple. I just sit quietly for a few minutes and observe what came up.
What did you notice?
The thoughts come and go on their own. Even the intense ones, they don't last forever.
That's comforting.
It is, because when you're overthinking, it feels like the thoughts will never stop.
Like you're stuck there.
But you're not. Thoughts are temporary, even if they feel overwhelming.
That's something people need to hear.
Definitely.
Another thing that helped me was writing things down.
Oh, journaling.
Yeah, whenever my mind felt crowded, I just put everything on paper.
Did it help?
A lot. Because instead of holding everything in my head, I could see it clearly.
That makes a difference.
It does. Sometimes when you see your thoughts written down, you realize how repetitive they are.
Or how exaggerated.
Exactly. And that awareness helps you step back.
I love that. It's like taking the thoughts out of your mind and placing them somewhere you can actually look at them.
Yeah, it creates distance.
And distance reduces intensity.
That's so true.
I think people assume they need to completely eliminate overthinking.
But maybe that's not the goal.
Exactly. Maybe the goal is to change your relationship with your thoughts.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Instead of being controlled by them,
You learn to coexist with them,
without letting them take over.
and that takes practice.
It does, but it's possible.
Slowly, step by step.
And with a lot of patience.
Always patience. So if someone listening right now feels like their mind is just too much,
Too loud, too fast, too overwhelming.
maybe instead of trying to shut it down,
You try to understand it. Ask yourself gently, what am I really feeling right now?
what am I afraid of?
And just sit with the answer
Without judgment,
without rushing to fix it.
just listening.
Because sometimes,
Sometimes that's all your mind needs.
to be heard,
And once it is,
it softens.
little by little,
And you realize
you're not your thoughts,
you're the one noticing them.
and that changes everything.
Everything. There's something that used to confuse me a lot, and I think a lot of people struggle with it too.
What's that?
The idea of letting go. People say it all the time. Just let it go. Stop overthinking. Move on. But no one really explains how.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but when you're in your head, it feels almost impossible.
Exactly. Because when a thought feels important, letting it go feels irresponsible. Like you're ignoring something you should be paying attention to.
That's such a good point. It feels like you're avoiding the problem.
Right. But what I've learned is letting go isn't about ignoring. It's about not holding on so tightly.
I like that.
It's more like loosening your grip. You're still aware of the thought, but you're not clinging to it, not squeezing it, not trying to force an answer out of it.
That makes it feel more doable.
Yeah, because forcing yourself to stop thinking doesn't work, but softening your attachment to the thought, that's different.
I had to learn that in a very practical way. I used to think letting go meant I had to feel okay immediately.
Oh, that's such a common misunderstanding.
Yeah, like if I was still feeling anxious or unsure, I thought I hadn't let it go properly.
But emotions don't work on command.
Exactly. You can't just switch them off. So I'd get frustrated with myself, which only made the overthinking worse.
It becomes a cycle.
It does. But then I realized letting go isn't about how you feel in that moment. It's about what you choose to do with the thought.
That's powerful.
You can still feel anxious and choose not to spiral.
You can still feel uncertain and choose not to chase every answer.
Yes, and that choice, no matter how small, starts to break the pattern.
I think people underestimate how important small choices are.
They really do. We think change has to be big and dramatic.
But most of the time, it's quiet,
Subtle.
almost invisible.
Like choosing not to reread that message for the 10th time.
Or choosing not to check your phone again for reassurance.
Or choosing to sleep instead of staying up thinking.
Those little moments, they matter so much.
They add up.
And slowly, they start rewiring how your mind responds.
I noticed that too. At first, it felt unnatural to not engage with my thoughts.
Like you were missing something?
Exactly. Like, wait, shouldn't I be figuring this out? But when I resisted that urge,
What happened?
nothing, literally nothing bad happened.
That's such an important realization.
It really is, because overthinking convinces you that something bad will happen if you don't figure everything out.
But most of the time, that's not true.
Not at all.
I had a similar experience with reassurance. I used to constantly seek it from friends, from people around me.
About what?
Everything. Decisions, conversations, how I felt. I always wanted someone to tell me, it's okay, you did the right thing.
That sounds comforting, but also exhausting.
It was both. It felt good in the moment, but it didn't last. The doubt would always come back.
Because the reassurance was external.
Exactly. And I wasn't building trust in myself.
That's such a key point. Overthinking often comes from not trusting yourself enough.
Yes, you keep looking for certainty outside because you don't feel it inside.
So how did that change for you?
Slowly, I started sitting with my decisions instead of immediately questioning them, even when it felt uncomfortable.
That takes courage.
It does. But over time, I realized I can handle the uncertainty.
That's empowering.
It really is, because you stop needing constant validation.
And you start building confidence in your own judgment.
Exactly.
I think that's something a lot of people don't realize. Overthinking isn't just about thoughts, it's about trust.
Trust in yourself and trust in life.
Yes, trust that things will work out even if you don't have all the answers right now.
That's hard, though,
It is, especially if you've been hurt before or made mistakes.
because then your mind says, see, you can't trust yourself.
Exactly, but mistakes don't mean you're incapable. They mean you're human.
And learning.
Always learning.
I think one of the most freeing things we can do is accept that we won't always get it right.
That takes so much pressure off.
It really does, because overthinking is often about trying to guarantee a perfect outcome.
Which doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Once I accepted that, I felt lighter. Not because I stopped caring, but because I stopped expecting perfection.
That's such a healthy shift.
It is. You still think things through, but you don't torture yourself over every possibility.
There's a balance.
Yes, thinking becomes a tool, not a trap.
I love that.
And you start to notice when you're crossing that line.
From helpful thinking to harmful overthinking.
Exactly.
Another thing that helped me was setting boundaries with my thoughts.
Boundaries. That's interesting.
Yeah, like telling myself, I'll think about this later. Not right now.
Does that actually work?
Surprisingly, yes, because you're not denying the thought, you're just postponing it.
So your mind doesn't feel ignored.
Exactly. It feels acknowledged, but not in control.
That's a great strategy.
It helped me especially at night. When my mind would start racing before sleep, I'd say, we'll deal with this tomorrow.
And then,
Most of the time, the thought didn't even feel important the next day.
it's so true. Things always feel bigger at night.
They really do.
I think it's because everything is quiet and your mind has more space to wonder.
And less distraction.
Exactly.
But that's where these small techniques make a big difference.
Definitely.
I also started focusing more on what I can control.
That's a big one.
Because overthinking often focuses on things we can't control, other people's opinions, future outcomes, past mistakes.
Things that are completely out of our hands.
Exactly. And that's where the frustration comes from.
So shifting your focus,
To what you can control, your actions, your response, your effort.
that brings a sense of stability.
It does, because you're grounding yourself in reality.
Instead of getting lost in possibilities.
Exactly.
So shifting your focus,
To what you can control, your actions, your response, your effort.
that brings a sense of stability.
It does, because you're grounding yourself in reality.
Instead of getting lost in possibilities.
Exactly.
I think that's what people need to hear. Your mind might create 100 scenarios,
But you only have to deal with what's actually in front of you.
one moment at a time.
One step at a time.
Not everything at once.
Never everything at once.
So if someone listening right now feels like their thoughts are overwhelming,
Like they're trying to figure out everything at once?
maybe take a step back
Ask yourself, what can I actually control right now?
and focus on just that.
not the past,
Not the future.
just this moment.
This one step.
Because clarity doesn't come from forcing your mind.
It comes from giving it space
And trust.
and time.
And reminding yourself,
You don't have to carry everything in your head.
you really don't.
You're allowed to put some of it down,
And rest.
even if just for a little while.
That little while can change more than you think.
More than you think.
You know, after everything we've talked about, there's one thing that keeps coming back to me.
What's that?
Overthinking isn't something that disappears overnight. It's something you learn to gently move through, again and again.
Yeah, it's not like one day you wake up and your mind is completely silent forever.
Exactly. And I think that's important for people to hear, because sometimes we expect instant change, and when it doesn't happen, we feel like we've failed.
But that's not failure. That's just part of the process.
Right. There will still be days when your mind feels loud.
Days when old patterns come back.
Days when you catch yourself overthinking again.
And that's okay.
More than okay. It's normal.
What matters is what you do in those moments.
Exactly, because now you're aware.
And awareness changes everything.
Before, you might have been completely lost in your thoughts.
Now you can notice them.
Before, you might have believed every thought.
Now you can question them.
Before, you might have followed every spiral.
Now you can pause.
And that pause,
It's powerful.
it's where everything shifts.
I remember a moment recently where I caught myself overthinking again.
What happened?
I was about to send an important message, and just like before, my mind started racing. Is this the right tone? Should I say it differently? What if it's misunderstood?
That familiar loop.
Yeah, but this time something felt different.
What did you do?
I stopped, took a breath, and I said to myself, this doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be honest.
That's beautiful.
And I sent it. No over-editing, no second-guessing.
How did that feel?
Honestly, freeing. Not because I was 100% sure it was perfect, but because I didn't let the overthinking control me.
That's such a big win.
It really is, and I think we don't celebrate those moments enough.
We don't, because they seem small from the outside.
But internally, they're huge.
They're shifts.
Exactly.
I had a moment like that too. I was lying in bed and my mind started replaying something from the past.
Nighttime thoughts.
The worst, right? It started small, but I could feel it building into a spiral.
What did you do?
Normally, I would have followed it, tried to analyze it, understand it, fix it.
And this time?
I just noticed it, and I said, not tonight.
That's powerful.
It felt strange at first, like I was leaving something unfinished.
But you weren't.
Exactly. I was choosing peace over pressure.
That's such an important choice.
And you know what? The next morning, it didn't even feel important anymore.
That happens so often.
It does, but in the moment, it feels urgent.
That's the illusion of overthinking.
Yes, it creates urgency where there doesn't need to be any.
And once you see that,
You stop reacting to it the same way.
you start trusting that not everything needs immediate attention.
And that trust, it changes your relationship with your mind.
I think that's what this whole journey is about.
Not controlling your mind
But learning how to live with it.
without being overwhelmed by it.
Exactly.
And I think something else we should say is that it's okay to ask for help too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes overthinking becomes so heavy that you can't carry it alone.
And that's not weakness.
Not at all. Talking to someone, a friend, a mentor, even a professional, it can make such a difference.
Because sometimes you just need someone to remind you that you're okay.
And that your thoughts aren't the full picture.
Exactly.
You know, if I could go back and tell my younger self one thing,
What would it be?
I'd say you don't have to figure everything out to be okay.
That's powerful.
Because I spent so much time thinking I needed clarity before I could feel calm.
But it's actually the opposite sometimes.
Yes, calm comes first and clarity follows.
That's such a beautiful way to put it.
What about you? What would you tell your younger self?
I think I'd say trust yourself a little more. Because I doubted myself constantly. Every decision, every thought, I was always looking for confirmation.
And now?
Now I realize I was more capable than I believed. I just didn't give myself the chance to see it.
That's so real.
And I think a lot of people listening might feel the same way.
Definitely.
So if you're listening right now and you feel stuck in your thoughts
Or overwhelmed?
or tired of constantly analyzing everything,
Just take a moment.
Breathe.
You don't need to solve your entire life right now.
You don't need all the answers today.
You don't need to be perfect.
You just need to take one small step.
One small moment of awareness.
One small choice to not engage with a thought.
And that's enough.
It really is.
Because change doesn't happen all at once.
It happens in these small, quiet moments.
And over time,
Those moments become habits.
and those habits,
They shape a calmer mind,
a lighter life.
a more peaceful you.
So be patient with yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
And remember,
Your mind is not your enemy.
it's just something you're learning to understand.
And you're doing better than you think.
You really are.
And before we wrap up,
We just want to say thank you
for being here,
for listening.
for taking this time for yourself.
If something in this conversation resonated with you,
If it made you feel seen or a little lighter,
then don't keep it to yourself.
share it with someone who might need it too.
And we'd love to hear from you. What's one thought you've been overthinking lately?
Or one small step you're going to take after this. Drop it in the comments.
And if you want more conversations like this,
More honest, real, and meaningful discussions
make sure to subscribe.
so you don't miss what's coming next.
We're really glad you're here.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Take care of your mind.
And be gentle with it.